I used to dread mornings when I was struggling with anxiety. Mornings were my worst part of the day when I was struggling with anxiety because I used to wake up with panic attacks. I used to wake up with feelings of unreality. I just wake up in the morning and there are these intrusive thoughts that bombard me, the racing thoughts, and I used to wonder, is there something wrong with me? Like, I don't understand why in the morning I have this intense anxiety. And I know it's a struggle for anyone who is watching. If you're watching this video, most definitely you're struggling with morning anxiety, and I want to use this video to explain to you what is happening at that time and how to deal with morning anxiety. So let's get it started. Anxiety sufferers struggle with morning anxiety and they ask themselves, like, is there something wrong with me? You go to the hospitals, tests are done, nothing is wrong with you, all tests are coming out fine, doctors tell you that you are only dealing with anxiety, but again you're asking yourself, why is it that in the morning you don't have that break? When I was struggling with anxiety, I didn't have a break where, like, I can just wake up in the morning and have this, relief. I wake up in the morning and anxiety is the first thing on my mind. Now I'm having racing thoughts, I'm struggling with panic attacks, I'm struggling with feelings of unreality, and sometimes I just wished, like, okay, maybe morning should not reach because I was struggling with intense anxiety in the morning. So this is happening because, first of all, when struggling with anxiety, I want you to normalize morning anxiety. Morning anxiety is common for anxiety sufferers, and it happens because someone struggling with anxiety has excess cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that is keeping you in that state. Cortisol is the stress hormone that is keeping you in the fight or flight. So someone struggling with anxiety has excess cortisol. Generally, like everyone in life has cortisol. Cortisol helps in waking human beings up. Cortisol helps in waking us up. So someone struggling with anxiety has excess of it to keep them alert, to help them fight this perceived danger that their brain believes in. So you are going to have cortisol. It's just that someone struggling with anxiety has much of it, and also because you are in this sensitized state, your nerves are sensitized. Any change in your body, you're going to feel this cortisol more. You're gonna feel it because you are sensitized. Not just like the normal, someone out there who, has cortisol that wakes them up. They're not sensitized and they're used to this, like they're literally not sensitized. But you who is in the disordered cycle of anxiety, you are sensitive. Therefore, in the morning, you're gonna be sensitive of this cortisol. That's why you find that you are struggling with morning anxiety. That's one of the reasons why you're struggling with morning anxiety. Another reason is you are expecting it. One of the reasons why I found out that I struggle so much with morning anxiety is I expected it. I always knew my morning are gonna be the worst. Like mornings, I had intense anxiety, but when it was afternoon, evening, at least my anxiety started to go down at that, in the afternoon, in the evening, but morning was intense. So because I expected it, my brain didn't disappoint. It released cortisol. So I had intense anxiety. And when you expect something, you never get disappointed. I was flooded with, the stress hormones. And that's one of the reasons why I experienced intense morning anxiety. If you expect it, you're gonna get it. And Claire Weeks, in her book, she says that labeling morning anxiety is one of the reasons why people struggle so much with morning anxiety. Anxiety in the morning is just the same as anxiety in the afternoon. It's just the same as anxiety in the evening. It's just the same as anxiety. There is no morning anxiety. So when you label it as morning anxiety, you're gonna expect it. And when you wake up in the morning and you're always like, okay, I'm expecting anxiety, and therefore you're gonna experience intense anxiety. So just say, okay, I'm having anxiety in the morning, but don't label it as morning anxiety because it's not gonna disappoint you. It's gonna come. You're gonna experience it more intensely. I want you to know that it is normal to experience morning anxiety. Like, you need to normalize it. Once I understood what was happening, once I understood why I was having, the morning anxiety, you first of all have to understand what is happening. I will always repeat and repeat. Understand what is happening. Understand how the body and mind works. Understand how anxiety works. Understand your unproductive patterns, what you're doing that is making anxiety intense. Once you understand that, you won't have to figure out anything. You just know that, okay, I'm feeling this way, I'm experiencing these feelings in the morning because of, excess cortisol. I'm sensitive of the cortisol in my body. That's why I'm feeling this way. Morning anxiety is temporary. It is temporary. It will always go away as you focus on healing. Don't focus on overcoming morning anxiety. Focus on healing. Focus on your response. A mistake that I find most anxiety sufferers commit is focusing on they try to deal with symptoms one by one. I want to deal with, morning anxiety, then I go to palpitations, then panic attacks, then feelings of unreality. No. Focus Focus on overcoming anxiety. Focus on healing. As you heal this, you'll no longer experience these symptoms. The morning anxiety will fade away. That's how I was able to overcome morning anxiety. And also something else, because I most of the time when I struggled with anxiety, I was in uni. So I used to wake up in the morning. Now I don't even want to get out of bed. Getting out of bed was like, climbing up. I couldn't. And I used to live with my roommate at that time. I'm just seeing her, moving around, and I'm just like, okay, how are you doing this? How are you doing this? Because I couldn't. I was so, I just felt so heavy. Intense anxiety, the panic attack. So I couldn't move around. Then I realized that was what was keeping me in the cycle. When I just wanted to stay in bed, when I was just scrolling on social media, I didn't want to. When you don't want to get out of bed, then you're showing the brain that there is danger. There is danger, and also you will not get the energy. Anxiety is very paradoxical. When you stand up and do the things, and I'm not saying you're gonna have the energy to do those things, force yourself, drag yourself around. When I continued my day, regardless of how I felt in the morning, I stood up, did the house chores and went to bathe and went to just do the basic things, the bare minimum. As you do these things, as you continue with your day, you're showing the brain that you no longer need, the excess cortisol. You are showing the brain that there is no danger. That's why you are continuing with your day. That's why you're doing your thing. But if you sit in bed, if you're just scrolling on social media, you are sending a wrong signal to the brain. Get up and drag yourself around. That's how to overcome morning anxiety. Like, you just get out of the bed as soon as you wake up and continue with your day. Otherwise, if you just sit in bed, now I can't, you're gonna experience intense morning anxiety, and it's gonna drag you for a while. I always say the brain does not learn through, logic. The brain does not learn through facts. That's, now you want to tell your brain, I'll just get up at this particular time. Now I can't, please just. The brain does not learn through logic, the brain learns through what it sees, through your behaviors. It does not learn through affirmations. If you're someone who, you're practicing affirmations for I don't know how many months, trying to get relief from anxiety, trying to get the energy, no. Affirmations don't work for anxiety. I don't know words, logic, facts. No, the brain only learns through your behaviors, through new learned behaviors. So if you wake up in the morning and continue with your day regardless, you're retraining the brain. You're rewiring the brain that really this is how I'm behaving. Can you behave? Stop misfiring alarms. I don't need them, because you have shown through your behaviors that there is no danger. So if you need to overcome morning anxiety, get on with your day regardless. Don't just sit in bed scrolling on social media. No, get on with your day. And I'm not saying that when you're getting on with your day, now you'll not feel that dread feeling. Now you'll not have the thoughts, the physical symptoms, the weird sensations. You are gonna have them, but you get on with your day regardless. You do the house chores with them. You go to work with them. You go to classes with them. Remember, what you resist persists. Carl Jung says that what you resist persists. So if you try to resist the thoughts, if you try to resist the heavy feelings, if you try to resist whatever you feel, that's when you're doing nothing. Allow whatever you feel, whether it's the symptoms, whether it's the panic attacks, whether it's the intrusive thoughts, as you go on with your day. Like, I'm feeling this way, but I'm gonna do my thing regardless. I'm feeling this way, I'm gonna go to work regardless. I'm feeling this way, I'm gonna go to class regardless. So that's my point. It's not like you're not gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it, but you do your thing with the way you feel. So if you have watched this video up to this point, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you feel like there's a video that you want me to do, comment down below. Otherwise, let's meet on Tuesday for a new YouTube video. Bye.